And we are live here on the Lakers Outsiders podcast. I am Harrison Fagan. I will be hosting today because Anthony Irwin, our normal host, threw his laptop into the Pacific Ocean because it kept crashing on us, and we had those embarrassing technical difficulties today. I am joined instead by Boise's finest, Gary Kester of Gary Nation. Gary, how's your 4th of July?
It's pretty good. Pretty good. None of the festivities have started yet, so hopefully it'll just keep getting better and the Lakers don't do something stupid, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that kind of segues us in, at least the Lakers are finally doing something. Like it sounds like from all the reports that they're going to be acquiring Roy Hibbert into their cap space. And I think it's, as far as after they kind of swung and missed on every free agent, this is about as good as a recovery as they probably could have made. I mean, he's on a 1-year deal that allows them to keep their flexibility for next year as much as possible. And he's going to be highly motivated to prove that he deserves to be fit into their situation next year.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people talk about, how his offense and everything and how it's, it's pretty bad. I think it was last year. I saw it on Twitter. I think he shot 50% at the rim, which if you're 7'2" and you're shooting 50% at the rim, that's terrible. But you're not trading for him because of his offense. You're trading for him because you need a defensive center. And he's still good on that end. He's still. Like I said, he's 7'2". He's good. He's a good defensive anchor, rim protector, and you need that behind guys like Julius Randle, and especially if you have Kobe playing the three, you definitely need that back there. So, but yeah, like you said, I mean, it's about the best they can do right now, given that the free agent market it's basically bone dry now. So,
yeah, I mean, pretty much what was left was at least as far as big men, the most desirable candidate was Costa Koufos, I think. And
yeah.
at this point, and I'd honestly rather have Hibbert on a 1-year deal than Koufos on a multi-year one.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, Koufos he's a little bit younger. I think he's 26, but he's only 2 years younger. He'd be cheaper, but yeah, like you said, I mean, he would eat up a little cap space, for a couple years. Where Hibbert, you're getting him in a contract year, so how professional athletes are in contract years. They want to do everything they can to ensure that their next contract is going to be, bringing them the most money most money possible. So, I mean, it's a low risk move. I mean, there's really nothing, that hurts the Lakers by doing it unless they're giving up an asset to get him, which would be really stupid. But
they're giving up Adder Majok, who some people call him Majok Johnson, but yeah, I mean, it sounds like they aren't giving up a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, if they can squeeze in maybe a second round pick, a future second round pick from Indiana, that's just gravy. But I mean, it's a low risk. Potentially, I won't say high reward, but it could be a good, decent reward. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense because it's really the best they can do at this point.
Yeah, hey, I mean, Larry Bird is leaving. I mean, who knows how he's kind of year to year, I think, at this point. Just start talking to him about a first round pick in 7 years. He's not going to care. Just shoot for the star. Just ask for it. It doesn't hurt to ask.
Might as well. And in 4 or 5 years, he's just going to be sitting at home watching Hoosiers all day. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, he may go Hoosiers and old finals tapes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we've kind of talked about why financially it's a good move, but maybe we should get into a little bit more why on the court I think Hibbert is such a good fit. I mean, you talked about the rim protection, and obviously people see the 50% in the paint, and I think that they think, oh, 50%, because we're kind of trained to think 50% from the field is good. But when you're talking about just at the rim, it's like you said, that's not very good for a 7-footer. But how do you think that the Lakers will utilize him on offense?
Well, I mean, the way Byron, his philosophy, it's very old school. I can just picture them going to him in the post a lot, although, I would try and you can try him in some pick and roll situations with especially with Russell, because he's such a good passer that he might create some easy looks for him. You might just set him in kind of that short corner, kind of like how Chris Anderson always did with LeBron in the Heat. Like, he just go stand in that short corner, and LeBron would break down the defense, and he'd be wide open and then get a layup. So
Yeah, he'd crash the boards.
I mean, Hibbert's he's a decent like mid-range shooter, like from the elbow, like 12 to 15 feet. So I mean, you can kind of use him there. But I mean, like I kind of said though, you're really not trading him for his offense. Like, whatever he gives you is kind of like just an added bonus. But really, you just need his defense, because with Clarkson, Kobe, Russell, Randall, that's not going to be a very good defensive unit.
Yeah, I mean, we can just thank the Lakers because we're going to be watching most of these games this season, and if they had went into the year with like Sacre or Tariq Black back there expected to clean everything up on defense, that the other four starters are we kind of hope Randall, Kobe, Clarkson, and Russell. I think at this point, like, that defense would have been really bad. Like, we thought it was bad this year when they were 29th in the league. They would have been 30th with a bullet, I think, next year. They still could be. Who knows how much Hibbert's going to help? Because there's only so much one guy can do to clean up all those leaks that it looks like the Lakers are going to have. But, I mean, we could be thankful that we aren't just going to be watching a layup line every game.
Yeah, I mean, there might be about 25, 30 games this year where Hibbert has 2 fouls in like the first 3 or 4 minutes. But
yeah,
I mean, I mean, yeah, like you said though, it's better than having like Robert Sacre back there, which, I mean, he's okay on defense, like he's not bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that's not who you want. And as of yesterday, until this trade becomes official, Sacre is actually the best center in Los Angeles right now. So.
Oh, sorry, Clippers fans. Yeah, that one. That they're pretty screwed after DeAndre Jordan left. But yeah, so I guess like that kind of covers the Hibbert acquisition. But I get the Hibbert salary was. It was $15 million. It's being reported there was like about a $3 million trade kicker, and that will leave the Lakers with about $4 or $5 million left under the cap. So that's not a whole lot of room to add free agents. Is there anyone, Gary, that you think that you would want the Lakers to sign with that room?
Just trying to be realistic here. I don't think he's signed with anybody.
So not LeBron?
No, I mean
he's still a free agent, so you never know. I mean, you put in a call.
He should just sign for the minimum and just call it good. But whatever, he's selfish.
I mean, if he doesn't want to be a Laker, then we don't want him anyway.
No, just we were talking before we went on and looking at the list, because you would need to add a wing behind. Since you center, and assuming Upshaw makes the roster, you've got Hibbert, Upshaw, and Sacre as your centers, and
Black.
And Black can play a little bit, yeah. Although I always picture him as kind of as a forward, just because to me, I mean, I've heard that he's like he's basically 6'8", even though he's listed at like 6'10". But
yeah, the height is a little bit of a deficit, but he does have some ups, and he's pretty good at the whole verticality thing too.
Yeah, so I mean, he's versatile though. I think you can play him at the 4 or the 5. So
yeah,
but a realistic guy that's cheap. I've seen people say Gerald Green, but I don't know if you can get him for $4 million. And I mean, him and Kobe on the same team would be hilarious. It's just the like long jump shots that are launched. I mean, like if you wanted to make a drinking game out of that, you'd be dead by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
But a guy I was just looking at, I don't think he's been signed yet, is Darrell Wright, who played for. I think he last played for the Blazers. I haven't followed him much lately, but just a small forward that can shoot the ball. He's a 3-point. That's really all he brings. I mean, he's just a 3-point shooter. I think he's a 38% 3-point shooter for his career. I don't think he offers much on defense, but I mean, you're just going to need some floor spacing.
Who does at this point? I will never forget Darrell Wright a couple years ago swung a fantasy matchup for me, and he will always have my gratitude for that. It was in the playoffs, and there was just one random game where he came in, and I forget what team he was on at the time, but just hit a couple threes and basically won me my matchup. So shout out to Darrell Wright.
So you're gonna get yourself a Darrell Wright Laker jersey if he signs.
Yeah, I mean, I need one to go with the Sacre. So okay, so I mean, I don't know that I really have anything to add to that list. It's like you said, the list of names that are available left is like it's pretty depressing, and you can see why people were getting so upset with the Lakers for like not making any moves when you see who's left. And um, but yeah, I think this season is just clearly going to be about growing the youth, trying to establish them, and hoping that if they play well, that is enough to be a lure to a free agent next year. But I think
Yeah,
that one thing that we've learned in this free agency, just to kind of wrap things up, is that players don't seem to value potential as much as we as analysts do. They want kind of the sure thing. And like I think we kind of knew that before, but this free agency really confirmed it. Is that you have to have some game tape to
yeah.
really like be alert of free agents.
And really, like if you're selling potential like down the line, you're gonna have to overpay these guys because you look at the Knicks. Like, I mean, like with the cap, basically exploding next year. I mean, they might not be terrible contracts, but I didn't see Robin Lopez getting like 12, $13 million a year like the Knicks. I think that's what he got. I can't remember what the exact contract details are.
Yeah, I think it was
It was in
about
that
13 million.
Yeah, I think it was in that range. So, I mean, like deals like that, like you got to just really pay guys a lot. That you might be paying more than what they're worth, but yeah, I mean, guys are looking to win like right away, and I figured that would be the case with Aldridge just because he's 30 years old, So, his window is starting to close a little bit, and yeah, I mean, all we can really hope for is the young guys play really well. I'll say Russell is a Rookie of the Year candidate next year. Clarkson continues to make strides, and then Randall plays well. I mean, then you can kind of sell that a little bit, and you'll have a ton of cap space. You'll have, as it stands, they'll probably have at least two max slots open. So you never know, but they definitely need to reevaluate themselves and their free agency approach because the last 2 years it's been the exact same thing.
Yeah,
And
and it's just they've made like you can say about like the Hibbert thing this year, and then to a degree about the Lynn thing last year, getting a first round pick for him. That they kind of landed on their feet. They recovered a little bit once they struck out with they made like a decent move once they struck out with the big names. But I think what they have to learn is they do need to target some of these mid tier guys too. You can't just swing for a star every time
well,
unless you have just.
it makes me wonder. I mean, because I know they have a whole staff of people that does this. I mean, at least they should. I know Kupchak's going to go meet with like the big time free agents like the LaMarcus Aldridges, the Greg Monroes, and the DeAndre Jordans. He met with those three guys, but it makes me wonder what the rest of the staff is doing because they should be at least like on the phones, like contacting these other guys like Damari Carrolls and Tobias Harris and guys like that, just contacting them, say, hey, we're interested. Would you want to set up a meeting? This and that. And it just seems like that's not even the case. I was just wondering what the rest of the staff was doing.
I mean, we don't know for a fact that they aren't doing that, but at the same time, if you're getting a call from, assistant to the assistant Lakers general manager or a scout or whoever it may be, but on the other line, you have like Masai Ujiri offering to pay you like a max contract, you're going to like set that meeting up.
Yeah, definitely. But it just seemed like, I mean, from everything we've heard that, I mean, they didn't really,
Yeah, I mean, there weren't rumors, so like that you make a good point. They really, I think that we're in agreement that they definitely need to pay a little bit more attention to those guys because you have
yeah,
to. It's not enough to just sell flexibility and promise. You have to like have something tangible there.
yeah. And I think it was really hard for him this year because Randall and Russell are just so unknown. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but
good, great prospects, but we haven't really seen them on the court yet. So Clarkson was really like the only selling point because Kobe's probably gone after this year, I would imagine, and Jordan Clarkson's not enough to attract a superstar free agent as much as we love him.
yeah. Yeah, no, not yet. I think everybody, the sense that I get, at least from talking to fans of other teams and stuff that didn't watch him every game, is he's still very much considered like a looter in a riot like type thing by a lot of people.
Just got to remember that tweet. 2 years, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
Patience.
just hashtag patience. Okay, so I think that that about covers the news of the day. We'll let all of our viewers get back to their Fourth of July's, unless you have anything else to add, Gary.
um, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered it. I mean, Upshaw had that great interview yesterday that everybody should definitely go listen to. Ryan Calipire, link to it on our on LakersOutsiders.com, so you can go check out and find a link to that there. He sounds very motivated to prove himself, and he definitely sounds like he's excited for the chance to play for the Lakers Summer League team and really hopes to make the regular season roster. So definitely go check that out if you want to learn a little bit more about that guy. And have a great 4th of July, everybody. All right. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks.